absolutely. International politics is always tough. It's always tough. We usually talk about Afghanistan, but we do have some crazy people going to our in our continent as well in Africa. What's going on in Equatorial Guinea?
I heard some breaking news, and thank you for asking. I heard that the vice president had his yacht was seized and detained in Italy. We're starting. Some reports are a little bit sketchy, but this isn't the first time. He had a boat called the Ebony Shine, which was also confiscated in the Netherlands. And my question to anyone in the Department of Justice, anyone in Interpol, all of these properties that have been seized by officials, the Malibu property, the property in Paris, the vehicles, where is that money? And I'm calling upon the United States government, Joe Biden, the Department of Justice, Interpol, anyone linked to the confiscation and forfeiture of assets recovered under the kleptocracy of Teodoro Obiangema Basogo and his son. They need to be held accountable because that is the people's money that's been plundered. And anyone who's hiding this money and trying to do a former president of Afghanistan thing where they're running with so much money they have to leave it on the tarmac. Stop it because you're affecting and impacting the health, education, the welfare of Equatorial Guineans. And I promise you, I'll come searching you out and hold you accountable for starving the people of Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and Gabon. Enough's enough. How much more suffering has to take place? And I would say that even if I was an Equatorial Guinean, show us the money, show us where the property is, and quit playing hide the ball. People's lives are at stake.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm probably with all due respect for everything you said, I just want to play the devil advocate here. I just noticed that when it comes to um, African officials, politicians, crooks, it looks like they're pretty much their asset. Sometimes being phrased. You go to Europe, I see they seize. Teodorin, sports car, expensive cars.
Mhm.
You go to the France, they talk about those mansions, those dictators, of purchase. What I've been waiting to see also is France and Europeans, and include America, to have the kind of attitude toward the Arabs,
Yeah.
the Saudis. No matter how bad they treat their people, it looks like they always have free hands to do whatever they want to do. We see journalists, people who work with America, with sometimes with a green cards or green card holders, being assassinated, and we, keep our blind eyes on issues. But for some reason, when it comes to African dictators, they are under spotlight. I'm just trying to play some devil
Oh no,
advocate.
I understand your point exactly, and it's a point well played, and hopefully will be well aired. There is different standards when it comes to African dictators as there are to Middle East dictators, and for whatever reason, it might go back to the Berlin Conference. It may go back to Aramco and all the developments. I believe that all dictators in this case are created equal, in my eyes, just looking at it on its face. Now, usually the ones who have their hands free, if there's a laissez-faire attitude, are the ones who have the most money, right? How much oil do you want to somehow disrupt a relationship with Saudi Arabia, knowing that they control how the world's oil supply? Most people don't. Do you know that at one time, Condoleezza Rice, God rest her soul, and I pray for her every day, she referred to Tito Bang as a good friend of the United States. She regretted that comment, but that was something that she was able to play simply because Equatorial Guinea had oil beginning in 1995. Before 1995, Malik, between you and me, I'll tell you a secret. No one gave a damn about Equatorial Guinea at all. And so I've been advocating since 1990, 5 years before the discovery of oil, about the situation, the dire situation in Equatorial Guinea. And I dare say that any other advocate, whether in Equatorial Guinea, they came around after the oil was discovered. There were some very lonely days walking the halls of Congress But Congressman Tom Lantos was the very first person I went to in 1990, and his assistant, Hans Hogreff, who I believe is now a high ranking Pentagon official, sat down, talked to me, and they wrote a letter. The days of dictatorship in Africa are coming to an end, and I'm optimistic that Mr. Bongo, Mr. Bia, and Mr. Obiang may all be able to be roommates one day at The Hague.
Listen, to be honest, I completely agree with you on that part. But we just have to, since
Realistic.
we're
Let's be
here,
realistic.
yeah,
They're not going to go to
absolutely.
jail. We know that they're not going to go to jail. Mr.
No,
Boswell was
no, no,
just
no, 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 no. If they end up in jail, it's fine with me. Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying, and
But
I want that. And I
my
think that they should have all their money. And I think that the people like you and I who have a platform, and once again, people need to support Gain TV. This is a platform. We speak candidly. People are
my
suffering in Africa. People are dying
here,
in Africa.
here's my point to just to give a quick response to what you said about Equatorial Guinea being a country that before the oil nobody even
They didn't care
mentioned
about
it.
it. Nope.
Nobody didn't care, and then when they have the resources, there was a country of interest.
Yeah, and then
Fine,
lobbyists would fade in, right? You had
yeah,
the PR firms, all these guys, the Lanny Davises of the world, the Cassian Associates of the world, the Reba Levinsons of the world, the Corvus
but
Communications, all these guys who are fair registered. These guys don't care about Africa. They want to take as much money as they can, pretend that they care about reshaping and whitewashing the image of people who are brutally and genocidally annihilating their own people. Who would want to co-sign to that? And more importantly, why would they want to think that they could get away with those actions in Africa and people like you and I wouldn't hold them accountable?
no,
Nothing.
listen, the accountability. I
Nothing.
think there's a place where you and me will agree on. When it comes to accountability, good leadership, good management, I think both of us clearly there is no dark spot when it comes to holding these people accountable. My thing is our the relationship we have, the African countries' relation with the United States, is kind of strange when it comes to the history.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have a chance to read this book from. Let me finish that. This statement. The book from I think Rondo Robinson, "What America Owed to Africa."
Trans Africa.
It's yeah, it's a very interesting book. And the reason why we have to be the shaper. We have to shape this kind of attitude and kind of relationship. This country here is unbelievable to see how much money, effort, support America give to some of our allies, our friends, our dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
And these countries literally do not give America anything, nothing,
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah.
Then you go back to Africa,
Hmm.
the land that created all these black people that happened to come to this country as slave, work for this country for free.
For 400 years.
400 years. And on top of that, when you see the attitude of some politicians, I'm not going to mention your friend, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. When you see the language, the attitude toward Africa, it's very bizarre. And I think it's very, this is something we have to take the time to understand. Why is that, Africa is not being considered at the same level of partnership as other people that America, spend blood and tears and resources and treasure to support to protect. You know, it's something that, and again, I want to put this aside the fact that you and me, we are in a battle of trying to put to an end the era of dictatorship,
Yep.
mismanagement, the
And
crooks.
nepotism. And the
Yeah,
fall of nepotism. Yes.
both of us, we gonna continue that work, that
Yes.
groundwork.
Definitely.
That is on the side. But once that day happen, we have to be able to look at our friends and brothers and the allies of the United States and say, okay, this is probably the time where we have to, sit down on this table of the brotherhood and say, let's see what our people have contributed to this nation, and why is that to this day We see after the World War, Second War, World War II, you know, Europe was destroyed. Okay, and then
Yep.
what America did, put together a Marshall Plan
Marshall Plan. Yep.
to rebuild Europe, right?
Yep.
Okay, we make sure that Europe from the bottom ground to be elevated.
Yeah. Where's the
Again,
Marshall Plan for Africa? Where is the
but
Marshall Plan for Africa?
before we even talk to Africa, look at our brothers and sisters in the 80.
Yeah.
Just close, I mean, we're talking about some miles away from Florida.
Yep.
When we see the attitude and the treatment, the coup d'etat, the manipulation, the destruction of 80, our brothers and sisters, just on a couple miles, away from Florida. It has to be a time where we have to unite and talk to our brothers and sisters and the power to be in America and say, you know what, it has to be a time where we have to have that respectful and relationship.
And, I can sum this up in a few short words. Malik, you're my brother. I love you, and I will do anything for you, and I will do anything for the continent of Africa. But it's time for the United States, Europe to realize that the days of the supplicant, begging dictator are over. We are Black men, African men, who have earned the right to speak our mind without fear or favor, or in this case, death. We come as people with open hands, open hearts, who have been violated and mistreated and abused. And I'm telling you now, from the core of my being, that should I become the first duly elected president of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea by the people of Equatorial Guinea, you will not have a step and fetch it. You will not have a kunta kinte. You will have a man that will look you dead in your eyes and saying, we're here to look out for our interest, just as you are for yours. Let's not play games. I was educated here in the United States, so you can't pull that wool over these brown, dark eyes.
Yeah, I mean that's a true statement that I support, and that what we are looking for our leader, in Africa to be. But here's reality. Here's the reality, and the sad reality that most people don't have the moral compass or the courage, to speak about. The question here is: do America favor or like that kind of a black leadership? Looking
No,
at the history,
no.
looking at the history.
Oh, no, no.
So that's what I'm talking about.
But they have to change, right? It's about evolution. I mean,
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
talking about.
the days
What
of
is it?
Patrice
So what
Lumumba.
my question is, what is it? What is it that when we go around the world talking about values, American values,
Mhm.
killing people, destroying country because we want to show them how to live. We want
Yeah.
to, trade their archaic, lifestyle to the democratic one. We see the case in Iraq. So when that happened, we applaud. America is a force for good. We have to bring this light to whatever place is dark.
Mhm.
But when the people now stand up to say, you know what, we agree with you, America. When the leaders like yourself, like myself, stand up and say, you know what, we were educated here. You're a political scientist. I'm a political scientist.
Yes.
Okay. We're saying, you know what, we've been educated here. And because of that, you have natural allies to work with.
Exactly. And I
Why
and,
is that?
I,
Why
and I've
is that?
often said, Malik, I've often said from when I began my Democratic advocacy campaign in 1990, I told President Clinton's people back then that should I be in a position to be of influence in Equatorial Guinea, that the United States of America would have no greater ally on earth, not in
Yeah,
Africa, on earth than Gustavo Vela. How could I not have some type of loyalty and fealty to a country that protected us, that
Give us
provided me safe
give us
harbor,
everything, you know.
that allowed my family to survive the reign of terror of Macias? I can also separate that and realize that Equatorial Guinea does not equal Macias. There are good people in the country. But anytime you have someone who has literally protected your life, how can you not have some type of loyalty? Now, the loyalty doesn't mean that you're an indentured servant, but it's just as a human being. How can I not be sympathetic to a country that educated my family, that provided education for my daughters? Come on, man. We're not clowns. We're very serious people doing very serious things. And I hope the people listening to us realize this isn't about money. This is about doing what's right for the continent of Africa based upon what we learned. And I salute you, Malik, for standing up for this cause, because you know I'll be in that bunker with you when those bullets are firing, when people are trying to take away that right. I promise you, I will be there. I might even stick my head up there a couple times to make sure everything's okay.
Listen, my friend, as you always know, it's always a pleasure to have you on this show and
Likewise.
just talk about issue that concern us, but also concern the globe, the world. Your perspective is always important to me. So listen. If you have any kind of conclusion, go ahead and do it.
Are you
I'm
speaking?
done.
I just want to say something that natoka ndikalaka kombe na wajepi. We're coming, and we're coming with love, hope, and change, and know that all those things independently and collectively will help reshape and reimagine the Africa that we all know and the Africa that we all see through our third eye. So, but people in Equatorial Guinea and Gabon, I love you. We're coming. And as I've said
Help,
before,
help.
help is on the
It's
way. We will see you on the shores of Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, and Libreville, Gabon.
All right, my friend. We're gonna leave that right there. I hope to speak with you probably tomorrow again. All right,
Definitely.
guys. Thank you for watching us. Please tune in. Your sponsorship and the viewership is very important to us.
And happy
Please
Labor Day
tune in.
weekend to all those out there. Enjoy Labor Day weekend with family and know that people like Malik and I respect you and we look forward to you joining this network, which is global in its perspective and open in its transparency.
Ah, my friend. Salute.